Avempace emerged from the cave where he had been in seclusion for so long. He gazed for a long time at the trees, the flowers, and the grasses that grew freely and peacefully upon the mountains. He drew a deep breath and began his slow descent. This was to be his final walk, his final warning, and his final lament. His soul could no longer be contained within his body. Like every traveler of truth, he would commit a madness. He would offer one last piece of counsel. He knew it was madness, for he was the one who had once uttered the most beautiful words on how a seeker of truth might protect their soul. He was now approaching the city, and unlike everyone else, he moved toward a different destination, toward the capital, the highest point in the city. When he finally reached the capital, he continued toward the square. A crowd had gathered there. As if they had known he would come, they had filled the square that day. He passed through the curious eyes of the people to reach a place where he could be seen by all. He lifted his head toward the sky, closed his eyes, and took a deep breath. Then he lowered his head, opened his eyes, and looked long at the people in the square. He raised his right hand, and these words spilled from his lips. "Oh, people, we are addicted to all the colors and tastes, the pains and conflicts of the world. So addicted that we cannot remain alone, so addicted that we cannot find peace and serenity. We are so addicted that we have made our minds prisoners of our desires, enslaved by the waves of craving, by a glance, a word, and a hunger to be known, that we have lost the ability to be aware of our own existence. Even our dreams are imprisoned, our thoughts are cowardly. We are children of time, members of an age of dishonor. Our minds and souls are under siege. It has no taste, no savor. Our mouths are like poison. We spit upon the world, faces twisted in disgust. Life is like a night in the deepest corners of your soul that you wish would end but never does. It is like a seed fallen into the earth, waiting for the water of life. It is like waking up to a morning you never wished to wake to. Just as every limb uses pain and agony as a weapon to satisfy its needs unconsciously, so is it a part of a whole. In truth, life is a representation of this totality. Every human being is the very embodiment of this representation. And this human, he does not want to, yet he always suffers. He wants to, yet he is always searching for happiness. It is difficult to satisfy this insatiability. It is always either too lacking or too excessive. And you always want, as you will always want, you want a single drop to fall upon your cheek, a rain to cool you, and you want everything to have a meaning. I ask, must everything that happens have a meaning? After all, the rain will fall when you are not here, the sun will rise when you are not here, and the world will turn when you are not here. Must there be a meaning? To all this burden, this pain, this will, should it be held in high regard? Should it be awaited? Knowing full well your hopes will be shattered. Perhaps it should be awaited, for hope is a balancing tool between life and death, and it is a form of knowledge. This knowledge is not certain, but it is strong enough to drive us to live. It is a simple equation. You are born, you live, and you die. Your strange, unknown story lies always between birth and death. Only you know your pains, your joys, your desires. Only you know your fears, your courage, and the longings you could never attain. A whole lifetime passes before you, and yet you cannot grasp it. It is like the desire to catch a fast receding object. You try again, and this continues only until you become bored. Then you seek another, and this cycle continues until you change the place where you exist. This state reflects the monotony and mediocrity of our lives. To realize this monotony is the first step toward wonder, curiosity, questions and answers. Avempace paused for a moment and looked at the crowd. He saw that the people could not make sense of his speech, yet they listened out of curiosity. He bowed his head and sighed deeply. Then he lifted his head again and called out,